A lot of unnecessary stress occurs in life when you don't allow yourself to be who you naturally are. You feel ingenuine, you feel inauthentic, you feel like you're living a lie, it's uncomfortable, you feel unregulated, you feel tense, you feel out of alignment with your truth. Your inner world is neglected. This is suffering. And in this video, I want to help you to begin to embrace who you naturally are. And a really important element of this is simply allowing yourself to be ordinary, giving yourself the freedom to be ordinary. Now, you might think that what I just said means that you should settle for mediocrity, you shouldn't have any goals, you shouldn't want to achieve anything, and that's not what I just said. I'll explain this a little bit further so that you actually have a good idea of what message I'm actually giving you in this video. So, in order to understand being ordinary, we have to understand the opposite, right? The need to be special. And the need to be special creates a lot of suffering in your life. The need to be special leaves you with a lot of demands that you place upon yourself, that you place upon your life, that you place upon reality, this present experience. And if you're careful and you're aware, you'll recognize that this is actually causing a lot of suffering. And it's not because having a goal to be great is the problem, but because this is actually tied in with a self-criticizing mechanism within the human mind. Now we're digging into the real territory. It's that fundamentally a core reason why we think we need to be special, why we have to place so many demands on our experience, why we need to be extraordinary, is because we don't feel okay just being who we are right now. There's an underlying sense of we're not enough. There's an underlying sense of not okay. I'm not okay. I have to do something to feel okay. There's a self-shaming. And once you actually start to recognize the psychological pattern that you're in and how much suffering it creates you, you naturally want to start to break free of it. Because, of course, you don't want to suffer, and that's very, very valid. So what I do mean, right, just to state it very clearly, is that you can live life with fewer demands and less pushing, less constant striving. Because the striving is exhausting. It's dysregulating. You don't feel regulated. You don't feel good being in your body. Your nervous system is actually in a subtle state of fight, flight, freeze, and you're kind of acting from there. It's like this pattern of just reactivity. And you might have some fears, but Lucas, if I do this, then I'm going to be a loser. No one's going to like me. Everyone will think I'm a bum. I won't accomplish anything. I'm going to get no validation. But let me tell you why it's precisely the opposite. Let me tell you why this is so counterintuitive. Because once you're stuck in this sort of self-criticizing and self-shaming pattern that is deeply tied into, I need to be special, I need to be extraordinary, I need to be something more than just what I am right now in this experience. I need to do something to prove myself and then feel okay about myself. See, once you're really trapped in that, you see, you're actually losing a lot of your energy. It takes energy to maintain this pattern, and it's being wasted. And that waste of energy is uncomfortable. You actually feel it in your body, and it's a form of discomfort. And that discomfort points you towards recognizing what you're doing so that you can stop. It's kind of like when your check engine light goes on in your car, and it's trying to tell you, hey, there's a problem here, look here. That pain and suffering is basically the same thing in this context. So when you are no longer focused upon amazing others or surpassing them, you have much more energy available to actually do your best and be your best. your nervous system feels more regulated. You start to feel more grounded in yourself. You're clear about what you actually want. And a really important insight is that you actually stop abusing yourself. Because once you're always striving, once your nervous system is always dysregulated and you keep pushing, and it's tied in with this sort of self-criticism, this I'm not enough, there's so much internal conflict that's occurring, and most of it's unconscious. And it's really a form of self-abuse. You have parts of you that are abusing and attacking other parts of you. That's what an internal conflict is. So you're no longer spending half your time looking over your shoulder at what others are doing and comparing yourself to them. Instead, you learn to get comfortable with just being who you are, just being ordinary. Just sitting by a little creek, relaxing, not needing to strive for anything, learning to rest, learning to relax the body, learning to just be conscious and not always need to strive for anything more. This is extremely clarifying. This is conscious relaxation. We live in a time of extreme workaholic, a lot of just workaholic patterns. We always need to push, we always need to achieve. It's never enough. We need to do better. The productivity, our output has to increase, right? There's nothing wrong with productivity or any of that stuff. It's just out of balance nowadays. This is very obvious. People don't know how to consciously rest. What we call rest in our culture is actually zoning out, numbing, sitting down, watching TV, scrolling on our phone. It's not a deliberate rest. It's not a conscious rest. It's a way of avoiding and escaping the current discomfort that we're feeling, rather than learning to embody the opposite pole, which in this case is rest. Rest relative to doing, accomplishing, pushing, striving, etc. Most of us are stuck in this role. We don't know this role though. So you do not have to do this all at once. You don't have to make this shift I'm talking about all at once. The reality of most inner conflict is that you have to learn how to practice being in the other role. If you're a workaholic, what's the solution? It's conscious relaxation. It's consciously learning, how do I relax my body so that my nervous system can regulate, so that I can feel my emotions. I'm not overriding my internal signals, right? The internal signals that say you need rest. You're not overriding them anymore. You're learning how to listen to them. Reevaluating your agenda here is really important. Because when you're trying to be special, when you're always pushing, and when you fail at that, and then there's self-criticism and shame, right? Like, what is it that you really want here? What are you actually trying to get? You're trying to just be okay. You're trying to just be happy. You're trying to just know what it's like to just sit and be in the moment and be okay. So why don't you give yourself that more directly? But no, Lucas, it has to be in this specific way. See, that's kind of the problem. And this reevaluation of our agenda and our real sincere intentions, and noticing where we're coming from and the parts of us that are active, this is an ongoing thing. This is something that happens every day, and it'll happen every day until you die. So each time you do this reevaluation, you are taking away the authority of this kind of inner criticism, self-shaming, pushing, making all these rigid rules for yourself, having all these rigid expectations. You're kind of taking away the power and authority of that, and you're actually bringing it back to who you are, to you. You're giving it directly to yourself, rather than these kind of unconscious parts of you, your ego, just kind of emerging and like grasping for control and needing a particular outcome and having to be a particular way. So in no way am I saying that you shouldn't have goals, because you're going to have goals. This is a part of being a human being. But what I am saying is that the moment you allow yourself to just start to be, and to be very ordinary, to not have to be anything other than who you are in this experience, you'll start to find more peace. And who you are is vast. Even as just a human being. You have all these parts of you. You have all these sub-personalities. You have all these conflicting desires and wants and inner contradictions that fight each other. The moment you learn how to be who you are, how to start embracing all these parts, that's the moment that you're on the path to real, lasting satisfaction, fulfillment, and inner peace. The second you see that as absolutely necessary for your happiness, that's the moment where you've taken a step in the right direction. Always needing to be special, always needing to have some kind of extraordinary expectation of yourself. How much suffering does that cause you? How much extra stress does that cause you? What is it like to just start to let that go? To practice letting that go? To stop identifying with that part of you? To see it as a defensive mechanism, as a survival mechanism? What's it like to just actually learn to consciously relax and rest? How does that feel? Rejuvenating? Like it brings you into balance? And then when you are working, when you are setting goals, they're more realistic. They're more conscious. They're not rigid. It's more aligned with you. It feels healthier. To do things actually starts to feel good rather than draining or exhausting. A lot of people, they are doing things and they're working and, well, they're already exhausted. And then on top of that, their inner critic has a bunch of expectations that they have to meet. And if they don't, well, your own mind is going to let you have it. Your inner critic is going to let you have it. Your self-shaming is going to let you have it. You have to learn how to make space between you and this part of you. Learn how to get this part of you to not take over, to not need to be in control. Learn to just practice letting go of this part. Meeting it with full awareness, fully experiencing it, fully seeing it, and then learning to let go. This part of you needs to control so much and have a particular outcome and be a certain way and live up to these expectations because it's afraid. Because if it's afraid that if it doesn't do this, it's not going to be validated, it's not going to be loved, it's not going to survive. So it's not that there's a problem with having a high standard for yourself, because that's good. Have a high standard for yourself. But from what part of you is that standard being created? Where is it emerging from within you? This is something that is really, really important to start to recognize, that there's a whole range of parts and sub-personalities in you. You're not just this fucking one person, but there's a whole range of parts and different beliefs and conflicting desires and emotions and agendas inside of you. And you have to learn how to harmonize them so that they're not all fighting and you don't experience inner conflict all the time. That's why I have my free book list. Go to the therapy and healing section. Pick out books like No Bad Parts, books like Embracing Your Inner Critic, Introduction to Internal Family Systems, Somatic Internal Family Systems. Pick out whatever you want, read some. That's it for this video. I'm doing one-to-one coaching. If you guys are interested, you can apply for free. Link is in the pinned comment and the description. Take it easy.